Whoa, now, what a claim. I sound like one of those calisthenic bros that think that body weight only is like the end all be all, the holy grail of fixing everything in your freaking life. It's halfway true. So I'm going to make the argument that calisthenics is better for upper body gains and hypertrophy than free weights. Feel free to freaking come at me with this. So lo and behold, the story begins with me starting out, and I did P90X. P90X is pretty much just body weight. You do push-ups and pull-ups. And that's honestly how I built most of my base. That was like the first program I really actually ran, other than just measly 10-pound dumbbells that I could do, 50 reps with every movement with when I first started out when I was in my teens. So pull-ups and push-ups were the first actual progression I used. And it stuck with me till today. So you're doing yourself a disservice, I think, if you're not implementing any body weight movements at all in your training program, especially when you're first starting out. And this mainly goes to the novice lifters, because I think all intermediate lifters are usually versed in calisthenics or body weight stuff. So where am I going with the argument that it's better for overall gains? Well, the Russians did study this as well. And they found out that moving your body through space triggers more of a strength hypertrophy response than moving just a weight. So that makes absolute, complete, and total sense to me. So if you got to move your physical body through the physical world, and it's a loaded movement, and it's a healthy movement pattern, I think the case is that you need to be doing that. So when it comes to movements, so like first starting out for chest, of course, everyone knows how to do push-ups. If you don't, you need to learn. And I think it set up a really good success for me to be good at bench later on. So when I first started actually training with a bench press, I was already in 100, 150 to 185 benching when all my friends at the time were still under 100 pounds. And I believe it's because I did all the push-up variations first. And the same goes for pull-ups. So I was already able to deadlift almost 300 and do all these rowing movements with 80-pound dumbbells in my teens. And it was all because I spent a summer doing P90X and doing mainly calisthenics upper body work. I think there's a great case to be had that these type of movements, sorry guys, I got freaking loud ass neighbors, but these movements will produce far better results, in my opinion, than just free weight training by itself. And I've had multiple people ask me when first starting out, what is a good baseline of things to do? And believe it or not, I don't recommend barbell training first starting out. I want them to get good at push-ups, dips, chin-ups, body weight rows, reverse rows, body weight squats. Like, build that base of moving your own body through space first. And every time I've recommended that, and a friend of mine or a client of mine does that, their entire baseline structure and foundation of training in the future just skyrockets tremendously. Now, you may attribute this to newbie gains, or their nervous system is getting adapted to the movement pattern. Fine, we can call it that. Those same things happen with free weight training. Yes, I agree with that too. So obviously the novice will get good at push-ups first, the reverse rows first. Chin-ups might take a while. That's one of the hardest upper body movements to do ever in general. So once you get good at those easy calisthenic movements, The natural progression is just to do some of the harder ones, such as parallel bar dips, the chin-ups, the pull-ups, anything that have to do with rings. Rings are very advanced because you have to balance everything. It's stabilization is compromised. So that's a good way to add a type of progressive overload other than increasing weight. And that's another topic I want to discuss too, because everyone's going to say, oh, well, you can't increase weight unless you increase your body weight. It's like, yeah, that's true. But, there's a thing called a weighted a belt. You can put a belt on you and you can hold a dumbbell between your legs. You can put a chain link belt on and add more weight. Oh, but what if I'm too heavy? Okay, well, a lot of commercial gyms have the reverse calisthenic machines. Those are so awesome to get people better at calisthenic movements. I used those with every client I pretty much ever had. Like, it was non-negotiable. If you can't do one chin up now, we're going to go on that machine and we're going to get you the ability to do at least one chin up, male, female, no matter what age, weight, nothing. Very, very valuable skill to have in your bodybuilding, strength, physical fitness, health journey. So important to be able to move your own body through space. So I personally do think it's better than free weights, just on a general and overall. Like if I had to pick movements I would do for the rest of my life. So if I had to pick movements to do for the rest of my life, it would be bodyweight calisthenic movements. I didn't have a gym. I still have my rings. I could throw my rings over anything overhead, any bar. I could throw them over tree branches. I can just take those anywhere and train anywhere and get a good stimulus anywhere. That's why I think they're also better is you can do them anywhere. You don't have to have all this equipment. Like it's an easy first start for people to get into the gym, into fitness, because all they need is their own body. It's a fantastic way to start your journey. It's a fantastic way to end your journey. Like what if free weights have banged you up? What if you got up to a over 300-pound bench and your shoulders are trashed? Well, you can still do push-ups, and working up to it, the healthier your dip movement is, the healthier your shoulders are going to be. There's a lot of benefits from hanging. There's a lot of benefits from doing chin-ups and pull-ups to failure. More so than I think a lot of other back movements are. I think they're more functional. Now, don't get me wrong. I think deadlifts are very functional too. But guys, this is my end of the rant. There. Feel free to combat me, throw me another argument, debate, anything in the comments. Let me know, guys. Appreciate you. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much.